All right, welcome to the Tutor Plus of the day. We're going to talk about matrix algebra, doing operations with matrices, which is basically the plural form of a matrix. If you're taking ACT prep or you're getting ready for the SAT exams, the ACT exams, and you run across these questions, it's a good thing to know that you can use calculators and technology to answer these questions quickly and be able to maximize your score. So I want to talk about what a matrix is and matrix algebra real quick using a calculator. We're going to use a TI-84 and I'm going to show you how to use it. Okay. So if you take a look right here, there are a few examples of matrices and they're asking you to do some operations. Now, matrices, they kind of look funny. They're like in brackets, right? And they have a lot of different number values in them. These matrices can look different. They'll have, some of them will be 2 by 2. Some of them will be 2 by 1, like you see right here. And when I say 2 by 2 or 3 by 1, I'm talking about how many rows it has versus how many columns it has. And they'll ask you to do different operations on some of these questions. I might ask you to multiply two matrices together. All four of these that you see on screen are asking you to multiply them, right? If you're talking about other examples, they might ask you to add two matrices together, like you see here, or to subtract two matrices together. They might have a number just by itself. They want you to multiply by a single matrix, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to talk to you about how you can answer these questions with technology using a graphing calculator. We're talking about the TI 84. And so for first off, let's talk about a couple things. So um, how do I say this? So when you're multiplying matrices, um, or adding them or subtracting them for that matter, you want to make sure you get the dimensions right. So like if you look at this matrix here, I'm going to try to I think I'm going to use number 2 just to kind of make my point. Okay. If you look at this matrix here, you have one matrix that's a 2 by 1 and another matrix that's a 1 by 2. So what do I mean by that? There are two rows. But there's only one column. So this is considered a 2 by 1 matrix, which is important for using your calculator on TI-84s, okay? Versus this one only has one row, but it has two columns. So we would call this one a 1 by 2 matrix. Are you with me here? So I want to just kind of show you how I think through the dimensions of these matrices before I multiply them using a calculator. If one's a 2 by 1 and another one is a 1 by 2, that's going to be super important because, hey, baby, I'm recording, so you can't talk to me right now. Okay. That's going to be super important for using your technology, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So remember that this one's a 2 by 1, or this one's a 1 by 2. That's important. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you a simulation of this calculator real quick. And what would probably be easier is if I put the notes of 2 by 1 and 1 by 2 off to the side so it's not blocking the screen. So let me do that real quickly, and then we'll be on our way here. Okay. Hopefully it's not blocking the screen anymore. Okay. So if you need to get to the matrix functions on a TI-84 or even a TI-83, if you hit this blue second button first and then come down here where it says matrix, you just hit second, then matrix, you're going to see a whole bunch of matrix names. You can name a matrix almost like a variable, like matrix A, matrix B, matrix C, matrix D. I like to come over to edit. In fact, this is what you need to do first. Come over to edit, select any of the matrices. Now, this one has already been edited here. We could probably clear that out. Let me see if it'll let me clear it out. If it doesn't, I'll just overlap it. Okay. Let's say you wanted to select matrix A and I hit enter to hit matrix A. You can see I already had a matrix in here before, or somebody else did. Well, we want to make this a 2 by 1. Remember, a 2 by 1, not a 3 by 2, because the problem we're looking at is a 2 by 1. So what we do is we come down to the bottom, we select 2, and then we just kind of hit enter, and then we're going to say 2 by 1, hit enter, and then all of a sudden it gives us the dimensions of the matrix that we were looking at, right? So if you come back to that problem we were just looking at, the first 2 by 1 matrix was 6 and a -3. So you just want to double check that and just plug those numbers in, hit 6, hit enter, and then I think it's a -3, hit enter, and boom, you have 6 and -3 in your matrix in your calculator, just like you see on this problem that you could see on the ACT, SAT, or in your Algebra 2 class, right? Okay, so we've already put in the information for the first matrix. If you hit the blue button and then hit quit, second quit, that will take you back to the main screen. Hit second matrix again, and then scroll over to edit like we did before. But this time we need another matrix to multiply the first one too. So we're going to go down to either one of these, but I'm going to just do matrix B just to go in order. Hit enter. And then, of course, somebody was using this before, so we just need to make sure we edit the dimensions, right? Remember, the other one was a 1 by 2. So if I just click 1, enter, and then 2, enter, notice this matrix is a 1 by 2, just like we had on the question that we were looking at previously. So if you look right here, -5, 4, that right there is a 1 by 2 matrix. So we had the dimensions set up the way we need them to. And remember, the values are -5 and +4, -5 and +4. So we're going to come back to the main screen, and that's what we're going to put in there. We're going to put -5, just click it in there, hit enter, and then I think it was -5. Did I get that right? Yeah, -5 and +4. Let's just, well, it never hurts to make sure, right? And there you go. So you can see matrix B has been changed to the question that we were trying to do on screen. So now we're going to hit second quit again, go back to the main screen. And in order to multiply these together, now look at the original question. It's this matrix, this 2 by 1 matrix times this 1 by 2 matrix. It says to multiply them together. Imagine that we called this one matrix A and this one was called matrix B, right? Because we just did that in our technology. Okay, so we need to multiply them together. Well, I come back to my matrix, my calculator, and all you have to do is hit second matrix again, and then select A. You don't go to edit. It's already been put in. See how it says 2 by 1? Just hit enter. Scroll down a little bit to do that. So it'll put matrix A just like that in your screen. But because we're multiplying them together, we're going to hit times, and we're going to hit second matrix again, and we're going to select, just arrow down, matrix B, which was the 1 by 2. And so all the information we plugged in matrix A is already in there, and all the information we plugged in. Now we just hit enter one more time, and that is our answer. Let me get rid of I'll get rid of my handwriting so you guys can see that. That would just be, you just match that up. You'll see that as an answer choice, maybe option C or something on the exam you're taking, and you're going to pick the matrix that has -30, 24, 15, -12, and so forth, right? And that's how you do it. That's how you use the technology, okay? So let's just pretend for a minute, all right? I'm just going to make this up because you could be asked matrix a lot of different ways. Let's say this exact matrix here. I'm going to erase this one here so you're not even looking at it, right? But let's say you had a problem where they had a number like maybe, what should I say? Let's say it was like a number and they wanted you to multiply a matrix next to it. Like, what's 3 times 6? The matrix of 6 and -3, right? Let's say it looked like that. If you see this number right next to a matrix, they're technically asking you to multiply them together, right? Sometimes they ask questions like that. In fact, if you come over here, you see a lot of examples just like that, where they'll have a number and they want you to multiply it by a given matrix, right? Let's say you have a question like that. Well, if it was this exact same numbers, right? I know that matrix A had that number. So I would just say 3, and then I would say times, and I would go second matrix and make sure to select matrix A. And then I just hit enter again, and it gives me the answer. If I multiply those two, it's just going to be 18 times -9, right? That's the calculator giving me the answer. But in reality, it's not too hard. All you're doing is multiplying 3 times 6 and 3 times -3. So you really don't need a calculator probably for that. But that's how you would use it using a calculator, okay? So that's just an example of a multiplying of matrix question. You could be asked a lot of things. You could be asked to subtract them, multiply individual ones. Let's say, maybe for the fun of it, we can do this adding one real quick, okay? Depending on who you are, I may have used this one in our live class, right? But let's say you have two matrices you got to add together. And so again, I just clear my screen, zoom out so you can see it. We want to go to second matrix, and you can select any of these. Let's say you want to go to C and D. It doesn't have to be A and B because C right here, let me go to edit. Okay. This one looks blank, so I don't have to, rewrite it, right? You put the dimensions in first. Well, this right here, because look at it, it has 1, 2, 3 rows, but it has 1, 2 columns. It always goes rows, then columns. So we know this is a 3 by 2. All right. That's the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I know that that's a 3 by 2. If I come back to this, you know, technology tab, I'm going to hit 3, enter, and then 2, enter at the top, and it will make the matrix the same dimensions, right? 3 by 2. Then I'm just going to be very careful and plug those numbers in. Looks like it's 3 and 6 for the first one. So I'm going to hit 3, enter, 6, enter, and all you really have to do is type the number and hit enter, right? Then we're going to do -1 and -2. Excuse me, -3. So let's try that. -1, enter, and -3, enter. And then come over here. It looks like the last one was -5 and -1. So we're going to be really careful to get those signs correct and not make any silly mistakes. But get those numbers right. Go back and check it. But that should match up to the question that I see, right? 3, 6, -1, -3, -5. And this is just super valuable to do when you're taking standardized tests, especially because you really got to get the answer right. It's a high stakes test. You just want to, take advantage of the opportunity. So that's matrix C. We got it ready. You can hit second quit to go back to the main screen, then hit second matrix again. And let's say we want to make the other one matrix D this time. I really got to go to edit first, excuse me. And then go to D, hit enter. And of course, this one also is a 3 by 2. So if you look at that, we'll just make sure to say that. That's going to be a 3, enter, 2, enter, 3 by 2, right? And then it makes it a 3 by 2. And then just be very careful to put those numbers in correctly too. So it's 0 and -1. So 0, enter, -1, enter, right? Go back to the tab. Looks like it's 6 and 0 after that. So just be very careful to get those right. 6, 0. And then the last couple looks like they're 2 and 3, right? So we're going to do 2, enter, and 3, enter. Bam. So now my matrix information has all been put in. I can go back to the main screen by hitting second quit. And if I need to multiply those together, see, look at the problem. It's or not multiply, add them. It's a good thing I checked, right? This matrix, we call this matrix C, right? Because that's what I called it in my calculator, C and D, right? C plus D has to equal what it needs to equal, right? So if I go back to the calculator, I'm going to be very careful to just make sure I put the right matrix in. I put that information in matrix C. I'm going to scroll down to C. Oh, went too far. C, hit enter, and then it shows up on screen. And then I'm going to add, because this was an adding problem, I'm going to add matrix D. So hit second matrix, go down to matrix, I think it was matrix D, yeah. And then hit enter, and then it should show exactly that on your display screen. To get the answer, just hit enter one more time, and bam, there you go. 3, 5, 5, -3, -3 and 2, all that information. It gives you the answer straight up if you just know how to use your technology. So depending on the type of matrix, you can do any of these operations, but just understand you have to put the dimensions in. How many rows does it have and how many columns? Is it a 3 by 1? Is it a 2 by 4? They can look all different kinds of ways, kind of think of the dimensions of a rectangle, if you will. But once you get that information put in, you can tell the calculator to do any operation to it that it can do, and that'll help you have success on test day. Anyway, so that's matrix using a technology, using the TI-84, and hopefully that'll help you out on test day and in the classroom. I'll see you on the next one.